Hello and welcome back to Europa Universalis III, where we're in a pretty interesting situation. I'm actually gonna make a save in a second. Um, the Reformation is currently sweeping through Europe, and some provinces of ours have changed to either Reformed or Protestant faith. I was considering changing our whole country at some point because you get a serious boost of money from it. However, you lose a lot of stability. Not sure where the money's coming from. I guess people are just looting churches. Anyway, we do have a call to arms from our allies in Hungary, who apparently started a war with Poland, who seem to find themselves without any allies at the moment. Not entirely sure how that happened. Last time I checked them, I saw that they had that they were allied with Austria and still with Lithuania. So I'm a little bit surprised. It's possible that this is because they recently changed to Reformed faith, which resulted in which resulted in their relations with the mainly Catholic Austria and Lithuania going downhill. I guess that might be the reason. If we just have to deal with Poland, I think we're in a pretty decent spot, you know. So let's actually get that maintenance up. One is allied with Georgia, but they have a dishonored casus belli with Georgia, so Georgia is actually not in the war. Poland is at 0 war capacity already and has a high war exhaustion. That's just delicious, man. Anyway, gonna move down here. You're gonna move down here. No, wait. Actually, we probably want to take this province. Alright. Since I do have some spare change and manpower, I think I'm gonna hire a bunch. I'm gonna hire a bunch of people just to have additional siege troops. All right, this is pretty delicious. I haven't been in quite such a one-sided situation before. I wanna go to Warmia. Huh? Let's dispatch a siege regiment here, and then you'll go to Warmia too. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, that's a shame. You can go here. Oh, that army's gone, I'm afraid. That's a real effing shame. Alright, let's attach a siege regiment here. And then move on to Dublin. Where are you going? I didn't make the faith change yet because I was afraid that something exactly similar like this might happen. You know, we lose all our allies, and then everyone who has some reason to attack us, which is quite a bunch of people at this point, will just, you know, sweep in and ruin our day. So I'm glad I'm not in the situation that Poland finds itself in. Alright, in any event, let's attach another siege regiment here. And then we'll go here too. Attach siege here, go here as well. about here. I'm not entirely certain if they're gonna if they'll progress fast enough with just one guy here. Well, interestingly, Zukov, because they're our allies and our vassal, just decided to join the war just on their own volition. The our other allies did not, which is okay. I didn't ask for them. If I thought we needed the help, I could have just asked. I did not. So, well, Hinterpommern to reformed, sure, whatever. Castillo, that also the Council of Salamanca is only supposed to task a commission of cardinals addressing the challenges posed by the Protestant movement, while the Catholic faith itself must not be compromised. His Holiness and most cardinals are willing to admit that some Protestant complaints are valid. Therefore, the Council advises many changes to the administration of the Church, a stop to the absentee bishops, and a worldly excess of the clergy. In addition, several new monastic orders are funded to aid in the efforts of the Counter-Reformation. Okay, so there's a new possible decision, which is the Counter-Reformation. Where is the Counter-Reformation? So we get more missionaries, less missionary costs, and higher missionary changes. Also, our relations with Austria would improve. Well, interesting. We do have to deal with our faith issues at some point, because having provinces share different faiths is not very good, because it results in less taxes. But I'm not entirely sure which will actually finally settle on. Which we're actually finally gonna settle on. Well, they have a leader, but their morale was already pretty spent. I think we can detach one more siege regiment and go to Krakow too. They're just getting overrun everywhere they go. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Our main goal is to get to Rune and hope, and then we'll just probably just force them to revoke claims on Kalisz. They still have a claim. After that, we could take their capital away by forcing them to release Mazovia, which did exist at some point, maybe. Not entirely sure if they ever existed in this game, but we could technically just deprive them of one of their most valuable provinces by doing that. We do probably need a really high war score in order to do that, though. Why are we at 0%? They have, like, no armies. I mean, we haven't managed to successfully siege anything yet, but not like they have much chance here. Other than that, there's a big war going on against the Byzantines. The Ottomans, who are fighting in Sweden, Novgorod, France, Lithuania, the Palatinate, and Hesse. And wherever Trebizond is, I'm not entirely sure. Also not sure how this started. And also apparently Scotland controls parts of Greece. Somehow. Well. There's a few big countries that might be a problem for us at some point in the future. Like, Scotland is pretty powerful, France is too, Castile also, and Austria, I think also, I already mentioned Austria. So, probably have to deal with them in some capacity at some point in the future. For now, we can deal with Poland and then see what we do with them, because the situation they're in currently, it might start looking like they just lose a lot. Like not just a few provinces, but they actually might just lose a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, we're not the main leader in this war, so I need to make certain that I'm ending the war before Hungary just calls it off. Not sure what their motivations for this war is. Do they have any claims? Krakow. They have a claim here, but I'm sieging it. Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm just saying this because I probably can't, you know, keep this up forever and get a really amazing deal because I'm not the leader in this fight. So I need to pull. So in order to gain something from it, I need to pull out before the leader does. With a separate peace treaty and all that. So where do you go? Radomiros apparently, because that's not progressing quite according to the speed that I would like it to progress. Offering peace? No, not white peace. Didn't you see what's going on in your country? It's a mess. Alright, I'm gonna make a save here. Just because I have a feeling that Hungary might just call it off soon, and I'd rather leave before they do. I do want to take Toruń so we don't have a Polish enclave here right in the middle of what currently is is starting to become one of our more profitable provinces. I recently managed to save up quite a bit of money, which with quite a bit of money I mean like 900 ducats, in order to start building a manufactory here, which gets even a bonus because we produce cloth here and I'm building a textile manufactory. So that's gonna be pretty amazing, but it will take a few more years to finish. And it was quite a serious investment. I could do the same again in Plock. And also in Toruń if I get that. So, more money incoming. Like it. But they should be a stable government. Yeah, should be. Siege of Lublin is over. No. Alright, is anything else we can reach fast enough? No, probably not. Guess you just help out somewhere else. Not sure why the siege in Ratibor is not progressing like at all. Sieges sometimes, I'm not entirely certain how, according to what algorithm they process, because sometimes you have a really large army surrounding one of them and nothing happens for years. And then you just have small stacks of 1,000, 2,000 people, and it's just, you know, half a year done. Alright, we got to run. Now we can start negotiating, I feel. So we would want that. Also, revoke your cores on Kalisz. Don't care about any of the other ones. And do you want to release... Can't force you to release Mazorovia because apparently you still can't use your capital that way. I see. Who else could we release? Ukraine? Apparently they would be okay with that too. The weird thing is that it would kind of separate the country right in the middle. Or Wallachia back there. Moldavia back here. I would not accept Moldavia, alright. Apparently they still have treaties with Lithuania. For some reason, neither Lithuania or Bohemia decided to help them, you know? Hmm. Weird. But you can stop all treaties with Lithuania. You know? Anyway. So I think we got pretty much what we wanted out of this. I could maybe get more, but you know, we would accrue infamy pretty soon, so I'd rather not do that. As tempting as it is to, you know, just completely obliterate them at this point, but I don't particularly feel like we need to. Other provinces are reformed too, so we'd probably end up having to send missionaries there too and stuff. So yeah, let's just do this. It's fine with me. Sure if I can get anything more out of this. Oh. It's fine. Good. I mean, you still have to deal with Hungary, right? So anyway, we can all move out. We'll conversion Warmia for the time being. Although we did have a secondary army who probably can just send to Kalisz at this point. And we're gonna consolidate troops. Although we're only slightly above our limit. Means we're overpaying, but I'll probably want to reduce it so we just at the limit. Because soldiers are expensive enough as they are, really no reason to just go above and beyond that limit. Anyway, so we took control of that enclave. Good. One thing that has me slightly worried though is that our next logical step to expand, if we want to do that whole become Germany plan at some point, would be to Brandenburg, who is historically joined up with the remainder of the Teutonic Order to form Prussia. So it's kind of ahistorical what we're doing already. I mean, at this point, the order was already gone, and Prussia didn't exist except for a small duchy somewhere around here. Anyway, probably somewhere around here. Anyway, but Brandenburg is the next logical target to attack, because they hold a lot of provinces that we need in order to start forming Germany at some point. However, they have an alliance with France and Burgundy too, but Burgundy kind of is a shadow of itself and has largely been absorbed by Flanders instead. I mean, France is far away, but they probably have ships and troops that they'll send down the Baltic Sea, so that might be an issue. Because I've seen them transport lots of troops for, you know, laying siege to the Ottoman provinces here. So it's not going to be quite as easy to do that. Riga still has issues, you know, still allied with Brandenburg, so maybe that could just get Brandenburg into the war. The Hansa also don't particularly want to fight them, and Austria, unless they're busy again, also probably want to avoid going to war with them anytime soon. Anyway, that... Actually, we didn't lose many troops. Although hardly was any real fight, except the first engagement in Warsaw, but... Do I want to pay the additional 3% maintenance just for being over the limit? I could do something else. I could just increase my force limit. I think barracks... Oh. I have something to increase my force limit. It increases the manpower, and I think the force limit is kind of proportional to the manpower that we have. Or we can't really see it. Ace, feudal monarchy. So I could just improve my manpower pool by building some more training fields and then hope that at some point we'll just be at the limit again. We're probably gonna do that. So Tarun is now the most likely to revolt, so actually let's just join there. While Kalisz hasn't fully been incorporated yet, Poland doesn't have any further claims on it. Also, I think Sweden's claim to Ingermanland, no. I think Novgorod also had a claim to Ingermanland, which has expired because we haven't been at war with them for 50 years. So apparently, since they decided to not fight for it for 50 years, they just revoked their claims. We did have a war with Sweden somewhere in between, so their claim is still valid, and we would need to wait another 30 years without any war with them in order to fix that. So we're mostly Catholic still. We have a couple of Protestants, but none of the most significant provinces. Well, those are becoming significant provinces. Not for the manpower yet, but for the income. And we have a couple of odds with Formed Faith. Alright. So there's a lot of religious decisions that we could do. So Counter-Reformation, I'm not sure if that has any further hidden stuff, because if it just has bonuses and we can still, you know... This is a little bit off, because I thought if we were embracing the Counter-Reformation, that would kind of lock us out to convert to either Reformed or Protestantism. But it doesn't seem to list either of those as a prerequisite. Not sure if they're just gonna disappear if we embrace the Counter-Reformation. Because the bonuses are nice, you know? More missionaries, missionary cost and chance. At some point, it might be nice. However, I'm probably gonna change the faith at some point because they have more interesting bonuses. If our provinces that are Catholic mainly generate things for us that we don't really need. Like colonists, we're not colonizing anything, so colonists is not really a major benefit to us. Missionaries, sure, we could use them to just change our own provinces again. Diplomats, while diplomats are nice, we would generate diplomats anyway, and I don't really need that many diplomats. And also stuff like colonist chance is just irrelevant for us, so we might actually want to change it for either Reformed. Reformed has a higher trade efficiency, but less taxes. Again, we get colonists, missionaries, and diplomats, but I think less than we would have if we were Catholic. Global colonial growth, so it's also kind of for colonial growth, which we haven't done at all. Protestant, however, has an interesting modifier in 10% production efficiency. More taxes too, and sure they have less colonists and less missionaries and less diplomats, but it's fine, in my opinion. So we'd probably want to go Protestant at some point, just for the production efficiency and tax bonus, because we do generate quite a bit of money from that. Like, half our money is generated from that, the rest is generated from trade income. But anyway, this is probably the main reason for why I want to switch, just because being of Catholic faith doesn't particularly give us any bonuses that we really need. However, it will pretty much certainly rule our foreign relations, as we've seen with Poland. So we do need to find the right time and place in order to do that. Anyway, I think we've had these open for a while and I decided to not go for it. Declaration of Indulgence. Get better tolerance for heretics, but higher stability cost. I tend to avoid stability anyway, so I think it's probably good, just for the tolerance bonus, so that our non-aligned provinces can just continue working rather effectively. So let's do that. Defend or penal laws for members of other religions than the established church, and grant them the freedom of public worship and rights of advancement for them to military and civic offices. Suffragan bishop. Now we get less stability but less tax. More missionaries and less missionary costs, sure. Take further steps towards the unified church by enforcing church attendance and set the order of services and prayers to be used in the Book of Common Prayers. Alright. That was another quick war. And Poland is just doesn't get a break here with Hungary. Oh well. Other interesting things that we do need to watch out for is that Sweden and Novgorod have an alliance now, which might technically be enough to just overwhelm us in the northeast. Novgorod doesn't have any claim on us anymore, and Sweden, we both give Sweden military access and also have military access there. So if they go to war with us, they suffer severe stability loss immediately. I think it's the same in Novgorod. I've just decided at some point that really there's no reason for me to go to war here because my eye is set on, you know, that particular area for now. So just making all these treaties, hopefully, you know, not getting us dragged into yet another Scandinavian or Russian war is, you know, probably pretty good because you don't go to a land war in Russia, right? That's one of the major things that I learned from history. So you have a casus belli against Thuringia, which you also have a royal marriage with, strangely enough. Be guaranteed by Brandenburg and part of the empire, so Austria would probably protect them. Austria's not busy with something, so we're just gonna let that pass, I believe. Maybe we could knock out everyone one by one, but so far I'm good. We're still not at our maximum manpower pool because, as I mentioned in the past few episodes, I've been building lots of barracks and other things just to get a higher growth of manpower because that was one of our major issues in past wars. Anyway, I wanted to build some more training fields, so let's get started on that. Probably even barracks, because they have a huge manpower increase. Actually have a much higher manpower increase than the training fields do for only a slightly higher cost, so let's do that. Also, we unlock the counting house. Local production efficiency. Ooh, shit. We need to do that for our provinces that have high production value. Let's actually go to the ledger in order to figure that out. It's somewhere. No. Somewhere did I already skip through it? Apparently. Oh, country overview, right. So highest production comes from Ingermanland for weird reasons, because they, you know, they have fur, and fur is pretty much worth quite a bit. Past that, it's Posen, then Kalisz, Hinterpommern, Plock, Ostpreußen. I see. So we probably want to build a counting house. Weird thing is that we don't have a constable here because the tax here is not that high. And it's hidden behind the tax stuff. Right. Anyway, but we'll probably want to start. Don't have that much money right now. I need to wait for a little bit. Already starts. Constable at least. The next one after that was, I believe, Poznan, which should be in a better position because they also have high tax income. So let's actually start here. I need to build fewer buildings before we get somewhere. Oh, you can. But it's sphere of influence against Muscovy. Did they do anything serious? No. Probably just made a treaty with. They probably just sent a warning to Smolensk and Polotsk or something. Guaranteeing the independence of Polotsk, which they probably didn't have before. So I'm not sure that's any reason to go to war with them. You guaranteed the independence of one of our allies! War! No, wait, what? Why? Also, they're far away, you know? I just said don't go to a land war in Russia. They're pretty big at this point, so maybe not. We're just gonna let that slide. Anyway, since we can just build a counting house here immediately, we're just gonna do that. What's wrong with our traders? Nobody's going here because the value of trade has decreased significantly. So also no one is out competing us here. But the trade in Lübeck is going crazy. And Hansa now has a monopoly and is just out competing everyone. I think we're just gonna send no one here for the time being. Until we get a few more people and then we might want to go there again. God damn, Hansa. One thing we could do in order to break the monopoly is to leave the trade league and then create our own center of trade somewhere. But I'll have to think about that some more. I would also want to think about building more ships at some point. But we're still way over our support limit. Apparently I need to build more dry docks. Or I could just remove some of our ships, because we have new small ships now. New flights, new transport ships. Just slightly better. Hull size. Hull size basically is how long a ship can survive and resist damage. Cannons. So actually these new transport ships are more powerful warships than the galleys are. Sure, their speed is bad, but our speed is being limited by the caravels anyway. Probably by the carracks, because we don't have caravels yet. Never built one of those yet, so far. So what I'm saying is, I could probably just start demolishing some of those cogs, and then create a couple of new transport ships instead, which would also take us below our naval limit. So yeah, that looks a little more reasonable. And then I could build new ones. Maybe even replace the galleys alongside with it, you know? If I really want to invest money, just demolish the galleys too. Replace them with transport ships for now until we get better ships. We also gained the ability to build faster ships, the Bark, which is the first, you know, small frigate-like ship. They have a high speed, so if they are just in groups by themselves, they can explore rather well and just get places real quick. However, with a hull size of 10 and cannons and a number of cannons of 15, they're barely better than a galley. And galleys are already pretty fast to begin with. However, having fast ships also means in battles that you get to that you get to take control of more ships for some reason. I figured this out when I was Hansa. I just had large amounts of money, so I was mainly building big warships, which meant, you know, I could just demolish everyone in naval battle. But I never particularly managed to capture ships, and I was wondering why. And then eventually figured out, you know, I need to have fast ships in order to do that, because for some reason, only with fast ships you can you can hope to conquer ships. Also, apparently some measure of colonization has been going on. Red should still be England, right? England has set down in Canada, apparently. Meanwhile, Castile has apparently set down in, well, what is now southern USA. Take control of the Creek. Portugal too. Well, I'm staying out with these colonial matters and focus on the continent, but, you know, it would be kind of a different game if I would also have to worry about that, but we would need a serious... But we would need a lot more ships if we went down that route. And with us sitting behind, you know, Denmark, with just access to the high seas, it's, you know, not that great. Are you at war with someone, or where are you going? You go at war with Sweden and Hesse. I see. Hansa, Riga, Bremen, Magdeburg, and Oldenburg. That's weird. Why are you at war with Riga? Because if you are, you know, I might just decide to join that war and take Riga finally. Which I've been wanting to do for some time. So what's Austria doing? Austria is not joining into that war, so apparently they started the war against Sweden. There's a mighty fleet of Bremen and my hometown of Oldenburg. In any event, I'm probably gonna stop this recording right here. Next time we'll probably find ourselves into more opportunities, hopefully? I don't know. Hungary has just majorly expanded. You know, we're sharing a border with them now. And we're not allies anymore? Wait a second, when did that happen? They're reformed now. When the hell did that happen? Oh, that's weird. Apparently we lost our ally Hungary, and they're sitting on our doorstep now. I guess it's time to look for new allies then? Probably. Oh. Really did not see that particular thing coming. You know, we were working together so well for such a long time. With royal marriage and all that stuff. Well, their stability -3, so apparently they just, you know, decided to go reformed and... Well... Interesting. Well, I'll think about that some more. Poland is now... almost totally demolished. Lithuania is still strong, but they're only allied with Switzerland, so if there are a problem at some point, you know, maybe I'll just visit them at some point. I don't know. They don't have any allies though. Impossible. I have to think about that. On the paper, we do have quite a bunch of allies, but all of these allies now, with the exception of Tver, are pretty small. So maybe I just want to dissolve those particular allies. One thing I could do is, apparently, since that message has been bothering for a while, we could just Diplo-annex Psikov, which will also dissolve this alliance in practice because they don't exist anymore. We might be doing something similar with Gotland, but they are already Protestant, so we need to deal with a lot of faith issues in the upcoming century. It's gonna be interesting, but we'll see more about that in the next episode. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. Have a good one.